Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Good morning and welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Woo-wee. We got some big news today.
Lots of big things happening. Good things, unknown things.
Life
happening. Life happening. So if you have been hanging out with us for the last 2 years, almost to the day.
Pretty amazing.
It's been an epic journey, and I can't wait to see where it takes us. And
we haven't taken a break in these 2 years.
No, we haven't taken a break. We haven't had time to sit back and evaluate what everything means and where we really want it to go. There's a shift happening with the Women in Leadership and the At the Table podcast. There's a little bit of a shift happening. And then there's also a lot of life happening too. So we are going to take the entire quarter off.
So this will be your last actual podcast of the year from us.
Yeah.
So just so you know, we're not going anywhere.
Yep.
We
had everything planned for the rest of the year up until the beginning of last week.
Yes.
And things have changed and shifted. So with that, we have to change and shift.
6 weeks worth of work in a like 3-day time period.
Yeah.
Things happen really fast right now.
Yeah.
And there's this period of evaluation and where do we want to go with the podcast? And we don't have the answers to all of those questions right this second.
Nope.
We know that we love this space and we love you and we love being here and doing this. And what does that look like going forward?
Right. So it's time for us to take a little bit of a breath when it comes to podcast life. So this is your last podcast for a little bit.
Huge shout out to Carol for like being a guest co-host this last quarter. That was so fabulous.
It was.
Really enjoyed getting to know you better, Carol, and you were so great on the podcast. Like I hope you all
gracious with your time, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So, and we love and appreciate everyone that comes into our world through the At the Table podcast, because we do honestly feel like everybody deserves a seat at the table, and that includes you. We work hard, we play hard. Sometimes we forget to play because we're working so hard. Sometimes the work is play. And we're happy to share all that with you. And thank you for sharing your lives and your hearts with us.
That being said, we are still reading books, right? Yes. We're still growing. We're still doing our things that we've been doing. And let me tell you, this book is kicking our butts.
Yes. So all the work we've done up until now has led us to this point, right? And that's kind of been my theme for the last month. Like everything I've done up until now has led me to now. So Love People Use Things by the Minimalists, because the opposite never works. It is totally kicking our metaphorical butts here, and physical butts, and it's really put things into perspective for us, both in a huge way.
Right. It's having a profound shift in our relationships with ourselves.
Right.
And then what that brings up has been a lot of tears, y'all.
Right. Okay. We already got the tissues out.
We're ready. Just really taking a look at our lives from a different perspective and looking at them differently and seeing them in a different way.
Right.
A different perspective.
It's like seeing it so clearly in the truth of what it is, not in what we want it to be.
Right.
It's a different lens.
Yeah.
And it can be scary.
super scary.
It could be
And-
heartbreaking,
Yes.
right?
Right. Just realizing that you have this experience, and we talk about this a lot about how our experiences are unique to us, where we are,
Mhm.
and then adding the perspective of, okay, if I was to look at that from up here and not where I was,
Mhm.
what could other people see, right? That I couldn't see because I was in the box.
Right.
And seeing the situations that I've allowed myself to be in
Mhm.
so that I could be who I am today and
Mhm.
have this experience of really knowing myself.
Mhm. And we wouldn't be the same people if we didn't go through those things.
Exactly. Like so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird place to be in because it's like this mourning for what we thought was
Mhm.
and this
Celebrating what is.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
it is a weird place to be.
it's a weird uncomfortable freedom step, right?
Mhm. Ooh.
Because if we don't break these stories down, we keep living in that story, and then we're continuing that cycle of only accepting the abuse a little less than what we abuse ourselves.
Mhm.
And that's very profound.
Mhm. So this week,
So,
this week we're talking about relationship with self.
in case you missed that.
Okay, there's a quote here. By removing the physical distractions around us, we're able to look inside ourselves and begin the process of mental, emotional, psychological, and spiritual decluttering. That pretty much sums up what we've been going through in the last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the tears are not bad tears.
Mm-mm.
I've suffered with bad depression in the past.
Right.
And you know, it's not that kind of crying.
It's almost
Because
liberating.
it is. It's so different. Like, and then when you're done crying, you're not like stuck or wallowing in that emotion
Mhm.
because you processed it.
Yeah.
So it's a very healed place we're at to be
Mhm.
doing this level of work.
Right.
I have to say, like this.
We've worked really hard to get here, and
So
ooh, I'm glad we read all those other books before we got here.
right. And I'm really excited that we love and trust ourselves so that we can make more rapid decisions in our lives, right?
Mhm.
We understand what feels right and what is like, no.
Right. And that starts with the art of noticing. Okay, we've talked about this before, but by
Awareness.
using language, volume, tone, inflection, physical gestures, and facial expressions, we're able to change our internal state to help us notice and appreciate the present moment, even with its naked imperfections. Boom. That's exactly what we were talking about, is we're able to see things in a different way that we're now outside of the box looking in,
Yeah.
right? Not stuck in the box and we can't see.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's very eye-opening for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We think the box looks differently from the inside.
Mhm. But when you take a minute and look at things from the outside and you see things for what they really are, it's big. It says, I've abandoned so many moments living in the past or the future, but life is merely a collection of present moments. And if we forsake the moment, we are forsaking life itself. And then there's
The list of the scroll, the
browsing, scrolling,
mindless,
emailing,
mindless things that you do, right? That are numbing.
testing, posting, tweeting, updating, replying, replaying, responding, ruminating, worrying, fretting, brooding, analyzing, stressing, and agonizing. Today, we have more ways than ever to distract ourselves. We distract ourselves from the truth.
from our unknowing.
Right.
Change the subject. I'm really good at that one.
Right.
Super, super skilled at that. Right.
Mhm. Right. We distract ourselves with all these things all the time. And society tells us that that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Is distract yourself. You're supposed to browse and scroll and email and text and post and tweet and update and reply and replay and respond. You're supposed, society tells you
And
you're
then
supposed to
if
do
you're
these
not
things.
doing that, you need to be ruminating, worrying, fretting, brooding, stressing, and agonizing over your life.
Rude.
Sounds awful.
Sounds like an awful place to be. So, we've talked about practicing being in the now, right?
Taking
Really
those
being present.
pauses.
And enemies of being here. Who gets bored? I know I get bored sometimes, right? Boredom is lethal. Boredom says there's nothing interesting to make here. Boredom reveals what we believe about the kind of world we're living in. Boredom is lethal because it reflects a static, fixed view of the world, a world that is finished.
That's why boredom is so scary.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And
ooh.
Our kids tell us all the time that they're bored or they're distracted all the time from
They
life.
never get to a point of boredom
Mhm.
in their brain.
Cynicism is slightly different from boredom, just as lethal. Cynicism says there's nothing new to make here. Often, cynicism presents itself as wisdom, but it usually comes from a wound. Often, this is because the cynic did try something new at some point and it went belly up. He was booed off the stage, and that pain causes him to critique and ridicule because there aren't any risks in doing that. If you hold something at a distance and make fun of it, then it can't hurt you. Ooh, right? That's where like bullying and all that stuff comes
Mhm.
from. And then there's despair. While boredom can be fairly subtle and cynicism can appear quite intelligent and even funny, despair is like a dull thud in the heart. Despair says nothing that we make matters. Despair reflects a pervasive dread that it's all pointless and that we are, in the end, simply wasting our time.
So some deep breaths here,
Mhm.
because that hurt my heart, right? That's not where we want to be,
Right.
but that's that impeccable with our word
Mhm.
to ourselves. We were talking about that the other day about are they lying to themselves? Is that what's going on in that situation? Like they can't see it. And then how do you respond to that?
Yeah. And then you can ask yourself the same questions too. Am I lying to myself?
And then that's a scary question.
That is a very scary question to ask yourself.
And sometimes you have to be quiet so you can hear the quiet, soft things that need to be said.
Mm.
I like that the book talks about going into stewardship of self.
Mhm.
So really being aware of what you need and what you're like, are you being cynical? Are you being in that
Mhm.
energy?
Mhm.
Being in cynicism? Are you being in
It's the radical responsibility, right?
yes,
Being responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for your own joy. You're responsible for your own life.
and then who are you putting your happiness, like who are you giving that happiness power away to?
Right.
Like, and how can you take it back? That
We
and
talked
how
about,
can you fill your cup
yeah,
so that you are serving from overflow and not being overwhelmed? Like it's all the
all the
circle.
pieces. Yeah, and we've talked a lot about giving your happiness away, right? And we used that story a while back, the metaphorical story of the guy who gives his girlfriend a star. Well, that star represented his happiness. She eventually, put it down,
Gosh, yeah.
dropped it, and broke it, right? Because nobody else is going to be It's,
Nobody else can take care of your star the way you can.
yeah. Yep, exactly. Kind of like, you know, as a parent, it's like nobody else can take care of my kids the way I do. Right.
Right.
Nobody's gonna love my kids as much as I do. Because I'm their mom.
Right. They're from our stars.
Uh-huh. Talks about letting go as medicine, using food as medicine.
I really like the way using the food in this was like
Mhm.
not like what I've been kind of looking for, like by not being into the diet culture,
Mhm.
but like what should I just be doing? Like what's
What's
the
good
good,
for me?
healthy way to be, right?
Yeah.
With food, with
I like that they really talk about asking yourself those hard questions. Like, I want to eat this because it makes me feel good, or because I want to punish myself.
and what are you and what is the punishment doing?
Mhm.
Is it numbing? Is it are
Mhm.
you and then is there and then taking it one step further, is there something else I could do that activity and actually fulfill me? Doesn't need to be food,
Right.
because food is nourishment and we shouldn't overeat, we shouldn't undereat,
Right.
right?
Right.
What-
And you
that
know,
punishment piece.
balancing treats and things like that, like not using it as a punishment, things like
or
that.
a reward, because it's not, it's food.
I realize that I do this next one to myself all the time, and I have been working on it. Exercise as medicine.
Mhm.
I have been using or not using exercise as punishment for myself.
Do you want to unpack that a little bit? Because that sounds really scary.
Yeah.
Like, are you out there with the barbells, like beating yourself with
No, no,
that?
no.
Okay.
So I know
Yeah.
that a certain amount of movement each day makes me feel good.
Mhm.
Too much or stressing myself about working out or not working out, how much I do and all this other stuff and numbers on a scale, that is one way of punishing myself.
Mhm.
The other way of I have punished myself using exercise is to not do it at all, because I don't deserve to feel good about myself.
We don't deserve to feel good. So we actually don't do the thing that we know makes us feel good.
Yeah. We will actively avoid
Avoid
it.
it.
So when I unpacked that for myself, like, I have a treadmill in the middle of my bedroom, and I want to use it, but I haven't been using it because I have not felt like I was worth the effort to put into myself. Right. So it's just been sitting there. It hasn't turned into a closet. But you know, there might be a laundry basket up next to it. Just saying.
Well, it is in the middle of the room.
Yeah. So this is part of the unpacking that I did last week. Super fun. I really like these gift getting and gift giving rules in this chapter here. I definitely recommend you pick yourself up a copy of this book, because I have all kinds of things highlighted in here that we just don't have time to go over. But
and they tell you if you're not writing in this book and highlighting, you're doing it wrong.
I have
So
highlights
it's
and
like
notes.
literally it's very interactive. Very good.
Yeah, and each chapter is probably about 40 pages. So
which is a lot to absorb in a week, you guys. I have to tell you.
Just like excess stuff in our lives, our health problems don't go away when ignored. The clutter and the dis-ease mount with each year that passes. Okay, remember we talked about disease and dis-ease when we read Lewis Hay? Something else I highlighted here. Nothing stresses like success. Wanting success, getting success, retaining success, these are the building blocks of stress and anxiety. Here's things that we do to ourselves. Consume more, regard everything as precious, refuse to let go, channel surf, peruse social media, inhabit the email inbox, focus on productivity, compare achievements, yearn for things, forsake sleep, forgo exercise, hold grudges, expand the to-do list, hurry, take on debt, spend more, save less, say yes to everything. So
when
much
we're
good stuff.
creating that freedom life and the life with ease, all of those things go against that.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like, hey, maybe I just need to take a break, maybe you should just maybe listen to that, right? Like,
yeah,
hearing your inner voice, it will tell you.
Yeah. I feel like this sums up today's podcast really well. We have to be willing to let go so we can make space for a new way of being.
Ooh. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We're going to let go a little bit. We're going to take a break, take a few breaths, and
We'll
see you on the flip side. Namaste.
Mwah.
Love you.
As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving. Together, let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.